See? This one doesn't creak. And it's flowers, not bloodstains. Okay. Well, I think it's about time we get on with all those Blu-ray updates I've been talking about. Yeah, got a few DVD updates. Oh no, I did those already. Yeah, this is why I gotta stay current with them, because I forget. The DVDs were the Addams Family and Total Recall sets. Yeah, so if you missed those, check out a couple of the previous videos there. Alrighty, well, let's get right into it. Oh. Thundercats. I actually do have all 4 volumes. See? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So what had happened was because of the Great Purge, so to speak, I have some holes in the collection on the shelf. So what I had done was faced the first volume forward, and I was going to face the first volume of Season 2 forward as well, but it wouldn't quite fit, so yeah, I had just forgotten to move them back over. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, it's Blu-ray update time. Specifically, Blu-ray Steelbooks. Today, on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Okay, so a while back, actually when it was originally in the theaters, I saw this particular movie, a movie based on a popular video game franchise of which I was, you know, I'd played a lot of them, but I wouldn't really call myself a hardcore fan, so I wasn't too broken up when it didn't follow the plot of the games exactly, but maybe we'll talk about that a little bit in a few minutes. But yeah, so I saw the first one. Really enjoyed it a lot, and then they did 3 sequels, which I just never got around to seeing. So I was over at Future Shop a little while ago and saw that they had put all 4 movies out in snazzy Steelbook editions, and I was like, hey, what a perfect opportunity for me to get caught up on the series and have something kind of cool to display on the shelf. I am, of course, talking about
Resident Evil.
The movies. So here we have Resident Evil 1. And give you a look inside. One thing that's cool about these Future Shop editions is they actually have, you know, it's just a repackage obviously, like these always are, but it has all the content of the regular edition plus an exclusive bonus disc, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So that's the first one. And then the second one. One of the things I like about these Steelbook editions, of course, is you know, well, I mean, first off, they're very sturdy and they look nice on the shelf, but also they often, well, almost always have alternative artwork on the cover that is different from the regular edition, so that's pretty snazzy. And then we have the third one, Resident Evil Extinction, which is quite nice. I think this is the best of the sequels so far, to be honest. Has like a very, like a proper post-apocalyptic feel to it. I mean, civilization is just in ruins. And then, of course, we have Resident Evil Afterlife. Before anyone asks, I gotta say I thought they did the Axeman really well. I know, you know I didn't like Resident Evil 5, but the Axeman was a pretty cool character. What's underneath the disc there? Oh, hold a second. If we move, there we go. See a nice picture of the sort of split face vampire thing. Yeah. And then, of course, the cool umbrella logo on the disc. And it looks like they're going to do a 5th one because it seems like, well, all 4 movies leave off with cliffhangers. So, that's that. And that's how they look on the shelf. They all line up very, very nicely. Now I should show you the backings. So the backings were a little bit different on these. Let me just grab the first one here and I'll give you a look at how it was set up. So the backings on all of these would actually fold over the bottom. So there's actually no Blu-ray bar whatsoever, which I know will make a lot of you very happy. So as you can see, Future Shop exclusive with exclusive bonus disc, and then we have our description and contents on the back. So, pretty nifty. Now, regarding the bonus disc, I imagine some of you are kind of excited at the prospect of a whole new original bonus disc. Wow, oh my goodness, the exclusivity is almost too much to bear. Well, okay, what's on the bonus disc? Well, it's called, what is it called? Resident Evil Program Alice Activated, which of course is a reference from, I believe, the second one. And yeah, so what that is basically, I think it's about a 22-minute long featurette, which basically just gives you an overview of the entire Resident Evil movie franchise up to that point. It's compiled from various archival interviews and clips from the movies and all that good stuff. And it's just a DVD. It's actually not a Blu-ray. So it's all, you know, I guess, well, because the Resident Evil series started in the sort of pre-high def era, like just before, well, I guess a few years, when was it, 99, I think the first one came out? Yeah, so it was a few years before high def really hit the scene, only a couple years into the life of DVD, and then carried on through from there. So most of the archival material is shot on standard def video, so there's really not much point in putting it in high def, because the only ones that would be in high def would probably be the last two. So you'd have like half standard def, half high def. So they just did the whole thing standard def. Now the thing is, I was all excited that each one of the first three had this exclusive bonus disc, so I naturally assumed the discs would be different. They're not. It's the exact same bonus disc for all three. But whatever. Hey, if one of those discs should ever happen to crap out, I've now got two backups. So I'm really well covered with that featurette. So what did I think of the movies? Well, basically I marathoned them, so they kind of all blend together into one massive movie. As I say, I think the third one was the best of the sequels, to me personally. I think it had some of the most spectacular. I know a lot of people don't like it because Alice kind of has like superpowers in that one, and they didn't like that aspect of it. But they basically do away with that in the fourth one, so she's back to being a regular, you know, hot human woman who kicks a lot of ass. So that's very cool. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it for what it is. I mean, a lot of people, I know a lot of hardcore fans hate the movies passionately, yet they still keep going to watch them for some reason, thinking that suddenly they're not going to hate them. Yeah, I really don't understand the fanboy mentality sometimes. It's like, if you hate them, don't watch them. Then they won't be making any more money, and they'll stop making them, and then you'll be happy. Logic. It works. Yeah, so what did I think of the sequels? Well, like I say, I mean, I thought they were okay. I enjoyed them essentially for what they were, just cheesy popcorn flicks with some pretty cool action sequences. I really liked the fact that in the second one, the Nemesis creature was a practical effect, like a makeup effect, rather than being done with CG. Now, some people complained about the fact that the Nemesis creature didn't have his sort of tentacle powers, but I think in the third one they have the sort of evil doctor guy gets the tentacle powers. So we do kind of get the Nemesis tentacle powers later, but in a slightly different form. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. I haven't really Dave, these are the Daves, I know, okay. Into the extras that much, but it's... What am I talking about? Oh yeah, so I get the impression that initially they didn't have a huge budget to work with, but then as the series progressed and became more successful, they got more money for each successive one. Like, you'll notice that as the series progresses, the effects get a lot more elaborate. There's a lot more CG, but I think tasteful CG. They really don't overdo the CG too much in this. They only use it where, you know, practical effects would have been, well, impractical. Like, for example, the scene with the gazillions of crows in Extinction, which is a spectacular scene, and I think very well done. And it just wouldn't have been possible with, like, millions of crows on wires, you know? I mean, that you can really only do something like that in CG. But, no, but, I mean, for the most part, the majority of effects are practical effects, you know? Characters done in makeup and stuff like that. And it's great, and I really enjoy it for that aspect. The other thing is, I mean, a lot of people complain that it doesn't follow the game story and such, and it's like, well, okay, think about this for a second. You're playing a video game. The video game story runs minimum 10, 12 hours, if not longer. How are you going to condense that down into a 2-hour movie without losing, you know, a lot of the gist of it? No, so instead, with the Resident Evil movies, I think the Resident Evil movies are very faithful to the video games, and let me explain why. Obviously not in terms of plot. They've gone off and done their own kind of story, but they use familiar elements from the game series. You know, all the trademark creatures are there. You got the Nemesis creature, you got the Axeman, you got a lot of the famous zombie characters, you got the zombie dogs in pretty much all of them, and you got Wesker, and you got Jill Valentine, and Chris Redfield. I think you got Claire Redfield in there. You got everybody. I mean, all the main characters are in there in some capacity, even if it's just, you know, as a secondary character or whatever. Obviously, the primary focus is Alice. But I mean, the Resident Evil games have all had different characters throughout and had different monsters throughout. So to me, it's very faithful to the games in that it pays homage and gives you nods to all of the things that people remember from the games, you know. And I mean, Paul Anderson, the guy who has either directed and written, or at least co-written and produced the whole series so far, is a huge fan of the games. And he's doing these as a fan, doing the kind of movies that he, as a fan, would want to see, you know, as well as putting his own kind of spin on things. And honestly, I approve. I think they've done a fine job. And I mean, come on, 4 movies? This is the single most successful movie series based on a video game ever. So obviously people are liking what they're seeing and going to see each one, or they wouldn't keep making them. They're not making money, they're not going to keep doing them. So yeah, I like the Resident Evil movies. I actually enjoyed the sequels a lot more than I was expecting to, given all the negative reviews I had heard of them. I think basically if you really got to go in with the right mindset. I mean, don't expect to see the first Resident Evil movie being a direct adaptation of the plot. And people are saying like they screwed up the character of Jill Valentine. How exactly? I mean, come on. How much depth do you expect there to be there? She's basically a secondary character brought in as a supporting character to help out Alice and the gang. And what is Jill Valentine? Hot chick that kicks a lot of ass? Are fans pissed off because Jill is the master of unlocking line wasn't in there anywhere? Like, come on. Give me a break. I thought the actress they got to play Jill was fine. I mean, I really enjoyed her performance and thought she was smoking hot. What can I say? But as I say, I'm more of sort of a casual player of the games rather than a hardcore fan, so I'm not going to be as nitpicky of these kind of things. But, yeah, I don't know. I am perfectly content with this series, and I look forward to the 5th one. I have not picked up the CGI movie, Degeneration, yet. It is also available in Steelbook form, so I'll probably grab the Steelbook of that just for consistency within the collection. And yeah, I like it. Oh, and those of you who may be wondering, no, this is not the 3D version. Of course, I barely even have a high-definition television, so I most definitely don't have a 3D television at this point. I will get one eventually. You know, I did actually buy a 3D movie recently, but it also included the 2D version, but we'll talk about that in another update. Okay, so let me just quickly go through the extras here. By the way, I should mention the price of these. They varied by $1 or $2 either way, but basically you're looking at about 20 bucks per movie. So 20 bucks for each of the Steelbook editions. Now the thing is, if you just want the movies, the regular editions are actually about half price. I've seen 2 and 3 go, 1, 2, and 3 go for as low as 10 bucks, sometimes 8 bucks at places like Future Shop and Walmart. So if you just want the movies and don't want to pay too much for them, just get the regular editions, because all the on-disc content is the same. And speaking of the on-disc content, let's take a look at what we have here. Okay, for the first movie, we have an alternate ending with director Paul Anderson's video introduction. By the way, there's been a couple of directors over the course of the series, and honestly, I think Paul Anderson's chapters in the saga, specifically the 1st and 4th, have the most dynamic visual style. I really like Paul Anderson's directorial style for those particular movies. That I think was the main problem I had with the second one, was The second one didn't seem to be as creatively directed. The third one was definitely better. The second one was directed by Alexander Witt, and the third one was directed by Russell Mulcahy. But the first and fourth are both by Paul Anderson, and I think they are definitely the best looking of all of them. Okay, so on the first one we have alternate ending with director Paul Anderson's video introduction, cast and filmmakers commentary. That's all most of these are carryovers from the old DVD edition, special edition. I remember listening to the cast and filmmakers commentary. It has Milla Jovovich and Paul Anderson and Michelle Rodriguez, and it's just a hilarious commentary. I definitely recommend checking that out. A visual effects commentary, 12 featurettes, and My Plague music video by Slipknot. Okay, very cool. And then the second one, we have Blue Wizard features. Ooh, that sounds exciting. Includes Blue Wizard technology. Control your viewing experience. Customize the way you watch special features. Let the Blue Wizard navigate for you. Arm the Blue Wizard to show the content as it relates to the film. Oh, so it's kind of like an Infinifilm kind of thing where you can have, you know, hot links to featurettes while you're watching the movie. So basically they just called it Blue Wizard. So special features. Seamless menu navigation. Oh god, are we going down that road again where they list the freaking menu as a special feature? Like, come on. Stop it. Just stop it with that. You're not fooling us. Okay, here we go. Real special features. Commentaries featuring director, cast, producers, and writers. Commentaries plural. It doesn't say how many specifically, but that implies at least 2. So that's pretty cool. 20 deleted scenes. Corporate Malfeasance featurette. Game Babes featurette. Symphony of Evil featurette. And a 6-part making of documentary. So these sets are very nicely loaded. There's a nice, well-rounded selection of features here. And then the third one, Extinction, we again have Blue Wizard. Oh, this is interesting. It actually gives you a little more information. It says, create your own playlist from the special features on the disc, and Blue Wizard will not only remember what you watched, but also what you liked. Ooh, that's actually kind of scary. And then we have Under the Umbrella, Picture-in-Picture. Features interviews with the filmmakers and cast, storyboards, production photos, and behind-the-scenes footage that runs concurrently with the movie. This feature is only supported by picture-in-picture enabled players. Yeah, well, that would be anything with Profile 2 or up. So you're good to go if you got Profile 2. And that's actually, those are the Blu-ray exclusive features. The carryovers from the DVD are deleted scenes, filmmakers commentary with director Russell Mulcahy, writer-producer Paul Anderson, and producer Jeremy Bolt. Sneak peek of Resident Evil Degeneration, the first Resident Evil CGI feature film. Yeah, that's a really lame sneak peek. It's like 20 seconds of just boring-ass footage and then the title. I mean, come on. You could have given us more of a trailer than that. It's like you're scared to show us anything from the movie. Like, come on. Making of featurettes. We have Alice Vision, pre-production, The Big Bang, shooting Resident Evil Extinction, Bigger, Faster, Stronger, The Undead Evolve, and Vegas Visual Effects Miniatures. Yeah, very cool selection there. And finally, for the latest one, Afterlife, we have, oh, they did it as like one of these stupid, like, hype things rather than an actual just list of features. Alright, let's see. We got special features. Get inside the creative process of this action spectacular with behind-the-scenes featurettes, a filmmaker commentary, and check out a sneak peek of Resident Evil Damnation. Resident Evil Damnation is the new CGI movie coming out. Feed your appetite for the Afterlife with these Blu-ray exclusives. Includes Undead Vision, picture-in-picture track, deleted scenes and outtakes, and 5 additional behind-the-scenes featurettes. Yeah, I know, I should have been a narrator, but anyway. Okay, I guess that was kind of a list, but done in hype form. Anyway, very cool. I'll probably run off quick scans of these so I can give you a more detailed look at them. But, yeah, one of these days I'm going to get a filing cabinet and put all these away good and proper. Alright, so that's the Resident Evil Steelbooks. But there's still more Steelbooks. But since we rambled so long about the Resident Evil ones, we'll just have to wait till next time to talk about the others. Until then, thanks for watching, and sayonara. I thought the chick who played Vil. Okay, so I guess this will stop there. And, well, actually,